from part 2. Anyways, let's continue about Chrome. Chrome periodically retrieves updates of 2 blacklists, one for phishing and one for malware, and warns users when they attempt to visit a site flagged as potentially harmful.
This service is also made available for use by others via a free public API called Google Safe Browsing API.
Chrome uses a process allocation model to sandbox tabs.
Using the principle of least privilege, each tab process cannot interact with critical memory functions, for example, OS memory, user files, or other tab processes similar to Microsoft's protected mode used by Internet Explorer 9 or greater.
The sandbox team is said to have taken this existing process boundary and made it into a jail.
This enforces a computer security model whereby there are 2 levels of multi-level security, user and sandbox, and the sandbox can only respond to communication requests initiated by the user.
On Linux, sandboxing uses the second mode. In January 2015, TrendFreak reported that using Chrome when connected to the internet using a VPN can be a serious security issue due to the browser's support for WebRTC. On September 9, 2016, it was reported that starting with Chrome 56, users will be warned when they visit insecure HTTP websites to encourage more sites to make the transition to HTTPS. On December 4, 2018, Google announced its Chrome 71 release, with new security features, including a built-in ad featuring system.
In addition, Google also announced its plan to crack down websites that make people involuntarily subscribe to mobile subscription plans.
Since 2008, Chrome has been faulted for not including a master password to prevent casual access to a user's passwords.
Chrome developers have indicated that a master password does not provide real security against determined hackers and have refused to implement one.
Bugs filed on this issue have been marked "Won't fix."
As of February 2014, Google Chrome asks the user to enter the Windows account password before showing saved passwords.
On Linux, Google Chrome/Chromium can store passwords in 3 ways. Google Chrome/Chromium chooses which store to use automatically based on the desktop environment in use. Passwords stored in GNOME peering or wallet are encrypted on disk, and access to them is controlled by dedicated daemon software.
Passwords stored in plain text are not encrypted.
Because of this, when either GNOME peering or wallet is in use, any unencrypted passwords that have been stored previously are automatically moved into the encrypted store. Support for using GNOME peering and wallet was added in version 6, but using these, when available, was not made the default mode until version 12. Although Google Chrome/Chromium chooses which store to use automatically, the store to use can also be specified with a command line argument. As of version 45, the Google Chrome Password Manager is no longer integrated with Keychain, since the interoperability goal is no longer possible. No security vulnerabilities in Chrome were exploited in the 3 years of PWM2 owned from 2009 to 2011. At PWM2 owned 2012, Chrome was defeated by a French team who used zero-day exploits in the version of Flash, shipped with Chrome to take complete control of a fully patched 64-bit Windows 7 PC using a booby-trapped website that overcame Chrome's sandbox. Chrome was compromised twice at the 2012 chance it was PM.
Google's official response to the exploits was delivered by Jason Kersey, who congratulated the researchers, noting, "We also believe that both submissions are works of art and deserve wide wider sharing and recognition.
Fixes for these vulnerabilities were deployed within 10 hours of the submission. A significant number of security vulnerabilities in Chrome occur in the Adobe Flash Player.
For example, the 2016 BWN2 successful attack on Chrome relied on 4 security vulnerabilities.
2 of the vulnerabilities were in Flash, 1 was in Chrome, and 1 was in the Windows kernel.
In 2016, Google announced that it was planning to phase out Flash Player in Chrome, starting in version 53.
The first phase of the plan is to disable Flash for ads and background analytics, with the ultimate goal of disabling it completely by the end of the year, except on specific sites that Google has deemed to be broken without it.
Flash would then be re-enabled with the exclusion of ads and background analytics on a site-by-site basis.
Leaked documents, published by WikiLeaks, caught in Vault 7 and dated from 2013 to 2016, detail the capabilities of the CIA, such as the ability to compromise web browsers, including Google Chrome. Google introduced download scanning protection in Chrome 17.
In February 2018, Google introduced an ad blocking feature based on recommendations from the Interactive Advertising Bureau.
Sites that employ invasive ads are given a 30-day warning, after which their ads will be blocked.
Consumer Reports recommended users install dedicated ad blocking tools instead, which offer increased security against malware and tracking.
The private browsing feature, called incognito mode, prevents the browser from permanently storing any history information, cookies, site data, or form inputs.
Downloaded files and bookmarks will be stored.
In addition, user activity is not hidden from visited websites or the Internet Service Provider. Incognito mode is similar to the private browsing feature in other web browsers.
It does not prevent saving. In all windows, you can switch between an incognito window and any regular windows you have open.
You only be in incognito mode when you're using the incognito window. In June 2015, the Defiant developer community discovered that Chromium 43 and Chrome 43 were programmed to download the awkward shared module, which could enable the OK Google voice recognition extension, although by default it was off.
This raised privacy concerns in the media.
The module was removed in Chrome 45, which was released on September 1, 2015, and was only present in Chrome 43 and 44. Chrome sends details about its users and their activities to Google through both optional and non-optional user tracking mechanisms. Some of the tracking mechanisms can be optionally enabled and disabled through the installation interface and through the browser's options dialog.
Unofficial builds, such as Server Iron, seek to remove these features from the browser altogether.
The RLG feature is not included in the Chromium browser either. In March 2010, Google devised a new method to collect installation statistics. The unique ID token included with Chrome is now used for only the first connection that Google Update makes to its server. The optional suggestion service included in Google Chrome has been criticized because it provides the information typed into the omnibox to the search provider before the user even gets returned.
This allows the search engine to provide URL suggestions, but also provides them with web use information tied to an IP address.
The optional feature to use a web service to help resolve spelling errors has privacy implications. In February 2012, Google announced that Chrome would implement the Do Not Track (DNT) standard to inform websites the users desire not to be tracked.
The protocol was implemented in version 23.
In line with the W3's tracked standard for DNT, it is turned off by default in Chrome. The JavaScript virtual machine used by Chrome, the V8 JavaScript engine, has features such as dynamic code generation, hidden class transitions, and precise garbage collection. In 2008, several websites performed benchmark tests using the SunSpider JavaScript benchmark tool as well as Google's own set of computationally intense benchmarks, which include ray tracing and constraint solving.
They unanimously reported that Chrome performed much faster than all competitors against which it had been tested, including Safari for Windows, Firefox 3.0, Internet Explorer 7, Opera, and Internet Explorer 8.
However, on October 11, 2010, independent tests of JavaScript performance, Chrome has been scoring just behind Opera's Presto engine since it was updated in version 10.5. On September 3, 2008, Mozilla responded by stating that their own Trasamonkey JavaScript engine, then in beta, was faster than Chrome's V8 engine in some tests.
John Rizig, Mozilla's JavaScript evangelist, further commented on the performance of different browsers on Google's own suite, commenting on Chrome's decimating of the other browsers, but he questioned whether Google's suite was representative of real programs.
He stated that Firefox 3.0 performed poorly on recursion-intensive benchmarks, such as those of Google, because the Mozilla team had not implemented recursion tracing yet. 2 weeks after Chrome's launch in 2008, the WebKit team announced a new JavaScript engine, Squirrelfish Extreme, citing a 36% speed improvement over Chrome's V8 engine. Like most major web browsers, Chrome uses DNS prefetching to speed up website lookups, as do other browsers like Firefox, Safari, Internet Explorer, called DNS pre-resolution, and an Opera as a user script, not built-in. Chrome formerly used their now deprecated SPDY protocol instead of only HTTP when communicating with servers that support it, such as Google services, Facebook, Twitter.
SPDY support was removed in Chrome version 51.
This was due to SPDY being replaced by HTTP/2, a standard that was based upon it. In November 2019, Google said it was working on several speed patching systems that let visitors know why a page is taking time to show up.
The variations include simple text warnings and more subtle signs that indicate a site is slow.
No date has been given for when the patching system will be included with a Chrome browser. A multi-process architecture is implemented in Chrome where, by default, a separate process is allocated to each site instance inclusion.
This procedure is termed process isolation, and it prevents tasks from interfering with each other, raising security and stability.
An attacker successfully gaining access to one application gains access to no others, and failure in one instance results in a sad tab screen of death, similar to the well-known sad Mac, but only one tab crashes instead of the whole application.
This strategy exacts a fixed per process cost up front, but results in less memory bloat over time as fragmentation is confined to each instance and no longer needs further memory allocations.
This architecture was adopted in Safari and Firefox. Chrome includes a process management utility called Task Manager, which lets users see what sites and inclusions are using the most memory, downloading the most bytes and overusing the CPU, and provides the ability to terminate them.
Chrome version 23 ensures its users an improved battery life for the systems supporting Chrome's GPU accelerated video decoding. We will continue about Google Chrome in part 3, so stay tuned.